Hmm. Well, we can't be too far off. So if we,
It's mine, you understand? Mine! All mine! Get back in there! Down, down, down! Go, go, go! Mine, mine, mine!
Well, welcome to Two Introverts Walk Into a Bar. Hope you're having a nice day so far. This is Charles, I'm Randy, and we thank you for stopping by and spending the next few minutes with us. We have a quote, Charles. I'm gonna mispronounce the gentleman's name. Carl.
It's a quote from one of my favorite authors, Carl Jung.
Carl Jung. Okay.
A great psychologist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it goes like this. Oops. Yeah. Okay. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. Second half of life is going inward and letting go of that ego. And so that's kind of what I've been kind of thinking about the last few days.
Yeah, just to kind of hold our thoughts here, that Jung did a lot with midlife and first half, second half of life. And so in this quote, he's kind of telling us about the first half is about the ego, how we interact with the outer world. Second half is the inner life. And so I think it's a fascinating conversation now.
And I had a really interesting thought about that and kind of comparing that, as I'm one of those individuals who likes to go to a lot of my high school reunions. So I've gone to maybe 5, 6 of them. And it's so interesting to see the progression of people and how they live their lives. And I kind of compare it to like a bell curve where you're starting out. When I saw the 10-year reunion, you're kind of building that ego and everybody's checking everybody else out. And, what do you do for a job and how big is your house? And do you have 2 cars and stuff like that? And as you progress up that bell curve, you kind of get to the top. And all of a sudden, when you slide down the right half of that bell curve, that stuff doesn't become as important to you. And you go back to your school reunions, and it's much less about all those physical things. But people really start get interested in who you are as a person, how you're doing, how's your family, and those things that are less materialistic and more inner stuff, and to really get to know the person. And I'm looking forward to my 55th coming up here in September, and so we'll see where we're at in the bell curve. But yeah, I think it's so fascinating to kind of look at that quote and then look at maybe that history that you go, in chunks, 5, 10 years, and see how people are doing and how much that can relate to what we're talking about today.
I really like your idea of class reunions. It kind of captured my imagination that a class reunion is sort of like a lab experiment.
Yeah.
We are the white rats. We have this in common. We all were born the same year, and we're traveling through life. And now you can kind of tell where are we in the journey. And if you go to a reunion and you try to relate to people, you can kind of say to yourself, well, here's a person who not going very far, pretty unhealthy sense of himself or herself.
Yep.
And then others have a very strong sense of who they are, and they're talking about all their successes and, oh, that's good. And then you have people who have moved into the second half. They're giving themselves away. They're starting to realize it's not all about me. It's not all about stuff. Or maybe they've got some disease, which is kind of taking their life away, and they're trying to manage it. And then you have the people that are kind of on that far end of this, of they're giving themselves away to life. So I find it fascinating to those are different people here. And then to kind of put myself there, where am I in this?
Yeah.
Is my ego pretty unhealthy, or is it pretty solid? And now I'm moving on to that. So I think it's just a neat way of kind of looking at how am I on this journey, this path to inner sense of strength and meaning and purpose.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. And And to me, it's a total natural thing if you listen to it. If you listen to yourself, you know, and reflecting back on my life and how those things were really important at the beginning of, because it made you feel good. It was that secure feeling. And you realize as you delve into your older life, well, okay, I got all this stuff. Now what? You know, it's not the key to happiness, but looking inside you and finding that letting go of that stuff is such a rewarding thing for me. Yeah.
I often think that the first half you're building a house. The second half you're making it a home.
Yes.
And what makes a home is relationships that you're connected to yourself, first of all, but then others and God. And so I think that's another way of looking at this, where I'm in this journey. But you are right. It does really lay bare the journey we're on and how are we doing.
It does. It does. Yeah. So I wish I could repeat the quote, but your phone went blank and I can't. Can you offhand say that again?
The first half of life is about developing a healthy ego, and the second half of life is about giving ourselves away.
Yep, giving ourselves away. That's fine. And that ain't cheap. No.
And I think that's really what the Looking Within Center is all about.
Yes.
It's about giving ourselves away. We have a strong self-image. We know who we are, and now we can give ourselves away.
Yep.
So
and in that is much joy.
Yes, exactly.
I can testify to that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.
Nice message from Mr. Carl
Jung.
Jung.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Appreciate it. All right. That wraps another episode of Two Introverts Walk Into a Bar. Thanks for sticking around. For Charles, Randy, appreciate your company, and we will see you next time.